Now, some people might suggest this was one of the real pivotal reasons as to why Harry and Meghan seemingly can't keep staff. Recently, of course, they lost another chief of staff and nobody really knows exactly why he left. Well, many of us in the inside do, but of course, everybody's sworn to secrecy. And as I've told you before, these certain staff members have to sign NDAs. And it's a strange thing because in this climate, in this particular day and age, it doesn't really matter anymore. Nobody really cares because the bottom line is, once you have a reputation as a rather difficult employer, and after 18 staff on the revolving door so far, one could equally say that, well, perhaps these fits of people that apparently are welcomed with open arms, well, then they don't seemingly last too long. But according to a very well-placed source, this truly happened on the recent trip to Colombia. As ever, let me explain. Morning, good to see you today, and as ever, thank you. You've caught me literally waiting for another bus. No glamour in this world, let me tell you. Do you spend your lifetime at bus stops thinking, will these ever turn up? None of these ticker things work to tell you, do they, you know? So you're supposed to go online and then you can't work your phone. You're with me, aren't you? So annoying. Why can't they just stick to times? And then you've actually got to throw yourself in the road because, quite frankly, they claim, of course, that they never saw you, even though you're waving frantically. Yes, a bit like a windmill in old Amsterdam. Who remembers that song? Yes. Back as ever to your royal story of the day. I send you down some paths, don't I? I know. You're hoping you wish I wouldn't, don't you? But that's the thing. Your memory just goes everywhere as you're talking to chums, doesn't it? That's the thing. You can see it's a rather windy day here in London town, but last week in Colombia it was piping hot. We saw that all thanks to Meghan's, shall we say, fashion faux pas. Yes, a terrible situation can happen to anybody, of course, and you know, it's not one of those things that for us hopefully is doctored around the world. One thing though that it has been doctored around the world was this particular story. You know what I'm talking about. You see, over here in the United Kingdom, we had a party leader, Sir Keir Starmer, who is currently the British Prime Minister in number 10 Downing Street. But on the campaign trail, he kept mentioning the fact that his father was a tool maker, and it became such a joke that audiences and debates started laughing at him, and he kind of got really angry. He said, I don't know why you're laughing, it's an honest job. He just could not see that it was becoming something of a, well, we've heard this story, thanks very much, Sir Keir, you know. And this is the problem for Meghan Markle, and apparently she was advised very heavily against this ahead of the Colombia tour. You know the story I'm talking about, how she wrote to this soap company, changed the world, and it stopped spinning on its axis, even though we know that there's certain aspects of this story that have been thoroughly checked. Now, apparently her brand new team said, look, many people have heard this story already. Is there anything else that you wish to talk about? Apparently, and as ever we have to say allegedly, she fought heavily back and said, no, people want to know this. This is inspirational to young people as it was for me at 11 years old. And so, yes, without further ado, that particular story was wheeled out again. Now, as you can see in that thin crowd, and Prince Harry, of course, sitting there once again thinking, I've heard this thousands of times, but smiling manically, he had to go along with it. But according to that source, her team are very annoyed by the fact that she won't listen to sage advice, worries why she gets then sort of vilified in the media, but carries on doing the things that literally open the book to the media. Does this give you any idea now why that particular individual probably had just had enough? You get the picture? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.